Good evening, folks. Welcome back to the channel. We have some good news. We have a grading submission that will be coming in the next week or so. It's in the QA stage right now. 24 coins will be coming back. I put a post on Instagram, which I ended up taking down, of a precursor guess as to what these grades, some of the coins will come back as. I took it down because I wasn't really fond of the way it came out, but I will say really briefly, of those 24 coins, we'll take a look at them in a minute. I'll give you a quick prediction as to where I think they might fall, but I just wanted to, I know I show a lot of roll videos, but I am promising you this won't be a long video. We're just going to look at some of the key date rolls, if you will. Some of the really tougher dates, and these ones are medium tough. These 1938s, these are just gorgeous. This 1938 P or Philadelphia penny roll, Lincoln cent roll. We'll get into what makes a roll original and what doesn't in a second. This 38S roll and this 38 Philadelphia Jefferson nickel roll all came from the same coin show last year, Manchester, New Hampshire. 3 different dealers all had 1938 rolls. Hard to believe, but they did. Some of the other, we've got a few bank wrapped rolls, but we're concentrating more on tubes. A couple 1948D dime rolls, as you can see. Number 1 and number 2, even though they're reversed, those came from the same guy. He had a couple rolls. I bought them both. 1949 is probably the second or third toughest date in the entire Roosevelt series. I think the 49S followed by the 50S would trump the 49, but the 49 BU roll is really hard to find. 49D not too far behind that, but 51S doesn't come along every day. I saw there's one right now on eBay that's 11 coins short of a full roll, and the bidding is already up to just under $500. Now, I would never pay that for a fractional roll. Why does it only have 39 coins? To me, there's two possibilities. I don't think there's any more than two. One is he's cherry-picked the best ones and sent them off for grading, which is the least likely of the two, I believe. Still possible, very possible. But more likely, I think it's an assembled roll where, picks a couple up here, a couple up there, and before you know it, you've got a roll. So I just would never buy that roll. Ever, ever, ever. Certainly not for premium money. Right now, at 39 coins at $460, you're talking $12 or $13 a dime. It'd be very hard to justify that, in my opinion. So with this 51S roll, if you look at the edges, they match, right? And I know most of you understand, the characteristics of originality or determining originality with BU rolls. You have to remember, rolls were rolled for commerce. They were put together by banks the year of or the year after the date the coin was minted. So most rolls, especially silver ones, that have made it this far spent the majority of their life in paper wrappers. And in those paper wrappers, whether it's 10 years, 30 years, 50 years, or 70 years, they take on the characteristics of the wrapper and the environment. Just as important, the environment, the particulates in the atmosphere, however it's stored, dry or damp, dark or light, warm or cold, desert southwest, cold damp northeast, mishandled in the basement where it can mold and that sort of thing, or is it kept in a nice dry location in a safe with decadence inside the safe, somebody that's very particular. So what happens over 30, 40, 50 years, your chemical compositions in the paper, and different rolls have different paper materials. Some are thicker than others, some have more sulfur than others, some have more carbon than others. As you can see, we've got a lot of different types of rolls, and You know, some of them are they're just all different, right? Just like a fingerprint, just like a snowflake. So when the coins sit in the rolls for decades, the toning is imparted by the chemicals within the wrapper of the paper in conjunction with the atmosphere, and pretty much being left untouched. So when you have 50 coins, like a dime roll, all together in the same wrapper, in the same environment, they should all have a similar patina. They won't have the same bag marks, obviously, although those should be fairly similar too. They came from the same batch, if you will, right? When you get a roll of coins where the edges do not all look the same, you have to question it. It doesn't necessarily rule it out, but you have to question it. 1949 anything is a key date roll. 49P and D quarters are amongst the most difficult. I'm sure everyone knows the 52S Franklin half roll is a challenge. And you can see we've got a few different. It's not terrible. It's also covered in tape, and this has been moved around a lot. 51D roll, a bit of a sleeper. Look how consistent the edges are. If we go back to the nickel roll, and you know, other ways of telling, confirming rather, if the coin's original, obviously the patina on the surface of the coin itself. So is that just, it's just lovely, right? So the rainbow, right? Chase the rainbow. You won't see me wear gloves very often, but obviously it's appropriate here. And there's plenty of luster under there. Now it's going to be a little muted because the toning is so thick. When you get to the middle of the roll, little spot right there, just a piece of lint. Maybe not, I have to look closer. Absolutely lovely, right? I think so anyway. And then let's put this aside. We've taken a gander at it. Here's the 38S penny roll. You got some red, you've got some red brown toning. Coins have been shuffled around a wee bit maybe. Lighting again is just dreadful here. One of these has some incredible reverse rainbow toning. That might have been it actually. Just not really being picked up that well by the camera. And that was 3 different coins. That's lovely. And then the 38 Philadelphia. That one away. 38 Philadelphia roll is equally nice. Cut you out here. And you can see how they all have that really thick, unmessed with patina to them. So when you talk about originality in rolls, I mean, look at that luster. That's what happens when you leave it unmessed with, right? You get just dynamite results. Mother Nature. I mean, is there any doubting the originality? Again, with original versus not original, there is absolutely no way to be 100% sure because you weren't there the whole time, well, the coin, during the whole coin's life. You can only eliminate. You can't confirm. So we try to look for things to eliminate, and when we can't eliminate, then we say better chance than not. So we won't spend a lot of time on these other ones, but we'll give a cursory look. These 48D rolls are amongst the finest dime rolls I have in terms of technical grade. I think there's a boatload of 67 full torches in these rolls. But again, do I want to break up the rolls for that? I haven't yet. I probably won't. I think the sum of the parts is not worth as much as the whole in this case. Now, obviously, I send them all in. I get all 67s. I don't get all 67s, but, you know, I get 5 or 6 67s and 20 66s, more than half full torch, and the balance are 65. That's why I laugh when I look on eBay and everything everybody sells is choice to GMBU or just GMBU. Like, do you understand how hard it is to get a 65 grade that, you know, as nice as these look? Most of them are probably 66, some of them 65. And only the very top notch are 67, and it's so far and few between. Second roll. So if we just put a few out, not too many. I'll put the reverses out of this roll. It happens to all be reverses. Just getting them spread out a little bit. I mean, look at that one in the center. It looks like a proof. How can you not fall in love with this? Love those 48D rolls. And you know, a 67 full torch has a price guide of, I want to say maybe 150 to 200, which things are selling soft. You wouldn't get that, I don't think. 66 is probably going to get 50, 60 bucks at the most. So after grading fees, is it really worth it? Break up the roll, go through all that? You know, it's some people would say yes. I'm a roll collector. There's a 49 roll of dimes. This one is decent. I don't think it's of the same quality. We've got some nice toning on that end coin there. Really nice toning. I haven't opened this roll in a while. Really pretty. And the reverse is blazing as you'd expect it to be. And the next two coins, this is the other end of the roll dime on the 1949 roll. 1949 roll, gray sheet's about 1,200. I didn't get it that long ago and I paid less. Not a lot less, but I paid less, so I was very happy. David Finkelstein is a big roll seller, but he's a guy, he's a very, very smart guy. Got a lot of respect for David. But I wouldn't buy any rolls from him, although the quality would certainly be there. That's not the problem. The problem is he cherry picks the hell out of them because he knows what he's doing. So any chance of any kind of varieties or any kind of anything are pretty much gone. It's a 49D roll. So I try to buy my rolls from people that don't specialize in rolls, private sales and so forth. Here's a 51S roll, which is one of the hardest dates to find. A very old style tube, Merringer double cap tube, caps on both ends. How frosty those are. So enough on that. I think you get the point. Little show and tell. All right, so I just brought out a couple rolls of quarters. 1941 roll, which is not really a key date, it's just an early one. And then the 49 P and D. It's a 41 roll. Now these Washington Quarter original rolls are known for, there's a lot of spotting in them. This one, this top one, a lot of bag marks and chatter. I mean, that's probably no better than a 63. You know, someone would sell these as gems, they're not. These are lower end unks. Doesn't mean it's not an original roll. 63 is typical, right? If it was so easy to get, if everything was 65 or 66, it would devalue it. And by definition, a gem wouldn't be a gem, it would be average. If that makes any sense, right? So you should get a lot more 62, 63 than anything else, right? That should be kind of the median. So, you know, like I said, it's pretty amazing all the people on eBay that everything they sell is a gem. You know, I know they want to sell their coin, but they are discrediting themselves and they are tarnishing the hobby in a big way, unfortunately. That's my opinion. So again, it's like anything else, buyer beware, right? You need to do your own due diligence. No one's making you buy anything. But it does turn people off, and people realize that they got ripped off buying fake Morgan dollar rolls or whatever, and they a lot of them just say forget it. They pack up and leave the hobby because they get ripped off by just either greedy people or sometimes unknowledgeable people. They unwittingly, they don't realize it themselves. You know, you give, as the saying goes, someone with a little bit of information is dangerous. 49D roll, this one seems to be of a little better quality. I haven't opened these rolls in a long time, so refamiliarizing myself. Yeah, similar amount of chatter on that. I mean, these ones are probably 63, 64. No heavy hits, but some, you know, quite a bit of little small chatter. Could you can see they all have a similar look, and the edges are all very similar. Right, we're 20 minutes into this video, and we've made it through the dimes and the quarters for the most part. We got a couple $half-dollar rolls. These are also slightly older double cap rolls. 1952S is a roll you don't see every day. And this one, again, especially with full bell lines, I think I turned this one upside down because it's the closest, and it's not there. It's not a full bell line, but it's the closest of all the ones in the roll, if I remember the method to my madness. So we're looking at the horizontal bell lines on the Liberty Bell there, particularly the bottom set at the base of the Liberty Bell. They need to run all the way through without any interruptions in order to get that designation, and there can't be any bag marks interrupting it as well. So the 52S and the 53S are by far the hardest dates of the series. They're extremely scarce on the 53S. 52S not nearly as scarce, but still quite scarce. And I think like an MS64 full bell lines would be like a $500 coin. On a 53S it would be, you know, a $15,000, $20,000 coin. But you'll see this particular issue is known for weak strike, and really the bell lines is just a means of measuring how well it was struck. It's not entirely and the only end-all be-all for accuracy, but it's one of the measuring sticks, if you will. So, all right, now that I've screwed up which one was on top, that's all right. It really didn't matter. And then this 51D roll is actually a very nice roll, if I remember. There's a lot of full bell lines on this, and I wouldn't say it's not valuable or not, it's definitely not common. This was quite a nice roll, if I remember. See how the bell lines are so more clearly defined. Okay, so we will take just a quick cursory look at some of these bank wrapped rolls that I pulled up here. I know we've looked at them a million times if you follow the channel, and if you do, I appreciate it and thank you very much for that. These were some of the older 1952D. There's actually two of these. I've got 48D and double bank wrapped, double shotgun. The $20 ones. I got two of them put away. They're put away right now. But this one, I believe, it has the date stamp on it. And then we have a second one, which doesn't have a date stamp. It has a handwritten. But the lovely toning on both of these is indicative of originality. It's just a really nice, eye-appealing look. We have the Chase Manhattan Bank. This 54 rolls. Somehow those coins stayed blast white. That came in a box of 50 rolls. Sorry, 1,000 rolls. 1,000 face. Yeah, 100 rolls. 100 rolls, $10 a roll. 1954, and then we have a couple 1955s, which is always a date people are. That's in demand, the 1955. Only 2 million struck, but that's still a lot, and it's certainly definitely not rare. It's kind of overvalued in my opinion anyway. Before we take a quick look at that submission, some of the other bank wrapped rolls that I like are these 1957s. They just have amazing toning. And a couple quarter rolls, two 1945 rolls, one that's dated and the one right behind it. A couple 51Ds, there's a 48 roll. And then we've got Mercury Dime rolls. This 1940 is a recent add to the collection. 1940p. And we have this 43D roll. Two 1944 Mercury rolls that I've had for quite some time. That's a 46D Birmingham, Alabama. 46S should be the United California Bank of Los Angeles. There it is. Beautiful toning. 1947. You can see it's upside down, but it's written. This 47S roll is one of my favorite. 1947S. Toning is just amazing. Probably won't show well here because it's terminal. I mean, there's rainbows in there, but it's dark. And just lovely. And then we have, so that was the 47S roll, 48S roll, 1950p, one of the tough, and then we have a handful. These are all 51D, 5 of those. So for a long time I only had one. I picked up 4 in the last 6 months or so. Now So if we take a very quick look, I thought I had the website open. Let's see, 1 second. Log in. All right, so when we do the grade reveal video next week or the week after, let's see. I don't usually do it from here. My account, where are my submissions? My orders. This must be it. Okay, here we go. So we've got 3 active: received, grading, and quality check. Received is 48 coins, as you can see right there. Grading 2 are the regular tier. There's a beautiful 1832 cap bus quarter in there that's an AU. And then we've got this economy that's in quality check status, 24 of them. So we'll pull up that submission. And there's a couple trade dollars to start it off. You can see no grades. 1877S and 78S trade dollars. Those should both come back very good. VG8, VG10 respectively. 1 or 2, they might both come back clean. They were sent in mostly for authentication because trade dollars are well known to be counterfeited. I'm like 100% positive that they're not counterfeit, but they're a lot easier, a lot more liquid in a holder. So I don't think either one of them is cleaned, but they're pretty tough on trade dollars. So I'm going to say one is going to be VG details and the other will be VG10. Then we've got Morgan dollars. Most of these are Tidy House, which are heavily toned. Tidy House dollars are well known for their deep, colorful toning, which could result in questionable colors. This 1880, I honestly don't remember what that is, so we'll skip that one. This 960 is I would say it's an XF45, and then we've got these 4 are all Tidy House: 830, 87, 840, and 850, and I think they're all in that 62, maybe 1 or 2 are 63. I think there's most of them are bag marked. They're not spectacular. The toning is beautiful, but I don't think that will carry any type of huge benefit to the grade. So we'll say that that whole lump there is 62, 63, and I wouldn't be surprised to get a questionable color on, I guess if I got it on 1 or 2 of them, I should get it on all of them because they all have that same look. I would hope PCGS understands Tidy House dollars by now, but one never knows. All right, 1921 Morgan dollar, which is right here. Kind of getting ahead of myself. That one's, 63. Then we got a couple Walking Liberty halves, 1936 and 37S. 36, I want to say that's an AU 55. The 37S is, I want to say, an AU 53, and I'm hoping for that 38D to be an AU 55 or an AU 58. I think it's very close. I'll say 55. We move down to this 1853 quarter, which is arrows and rays, which is an AU. I'm hoping they don't nail that for being cleaned. There's no hairlines or anything at all to indicate that it would be cleaned. From what I remember, I haven't seen these coins now in 2 months, but pretty confident that that should be an AU 55. The 1902 Barber Dime, I'll say that's an AU 50. And then we have the 1863 copper nickel Indian head cent, which is a mint state. I'll say it's an MS61 or 62. The 66, 73, 74, and 75 are all VF35 to XF40. I'll say they're all in that range just to save time. I will say I'd have to look at my notes as to which one was better than the other. I believe the 66 and the 73, which I think is an open 3 variety, are probably the XF40s, and the other two are VF30 or 35. So the 91 and the 1900 penny, I'm 50-50 on whether or not they'll grade at all. I think at least one of them will be cleaned. If they do grade, it's probably 62 brown. I don't have super high hopes for those two, though. And then we've got 3 1914D pennies, again, sent in for authentication. These are low grade. I would say 2 of them are good 4 and 1 of them is good 6. I would say 2 out of 3 will grade and 1 will be cleaned. And I'm not saying that for any particular reason other than I am playing the odds. So we'll refer back to these guesstimates when the time comes, when that submission is back to us and we have a chance to do a grade reveal video. So we're at 36 minutes, longer than I wanted, shorter than the last few. This is Sam's Coins and Heavy Metal. Check out our new website if you like. Just put it up, very raw, put up by yours truly with no help, no experience, no guidance, no clue at all what I'm doing. If you want to take a look at samscoinsandheavymetal.com, same handle on eBay, Sam's Coins and Heavy Metal, as well as Instagram. Follow us, send us a message, send us your comments, tell us what you like, what you hate, give us any ideas. We know we have to improve our lighting and our camera setup. We're working on it. You all have a terrific rest of the night. Enjoy the rest of the summer. We'll talk to you soon. Have a good night. Over and out.